It's like 35 degrees outside, extremely hot. So I just made a video about the Ricoh GR III, and a bunch of you were asking what is my recipe, the recipe I created to get the JPEGs that I've loved so much, and I've showed you in the previous videos. Here's some examples. Now I did originally find this on YouTube, and I'll link the other video where I found it from, but I did make a few tweaks and then I kind of tweaked things back. So this is the final recipe to get this kind of look. I don't want to waste any of your time, so we're just going to walk through the settings together. You can follow along, and yeah, so let's get right into it. This is actually one of the first times I just go out and use a tripod. I'm actually really liking it, and I'm going to take a picture right now with the GR3 to post it on my story. God, I love this camera. So you need to go to your image control settings. So basically just go to menu, scroll. Where are you? White balance. Where the frick? You gotta keep scrolling till you get to image control. Now, this is where you adjust all your settings. So if you want to shoot in black and white or any picture profile, whatever. So you go there, and then you basically have a bunch of already preset ones, but you go all the way to the bottom to custom control 1, and this is where you're going to save these exact settings. So once you go here, you just press to the right, so now you can make your adjustments. Now if you just want to take a screenshot, this is what it looks like, but I'm going to kind of walk through how I do it. First setting to adjust is set your custom film to negative film. Now I found that this gives like a bit of a film look to it. I really like the colors that come out of it. And yeah, so I just picked that one, and I just liked it, so just pick it, don't think about it. Next thing is saturation. Now I've jumped between +2 and +3. It really depends on the scene. It depends a lot on skin tone. Sometimes people with a bit more color look a bit too orangey, a bit too saturated with +3, and I'll drop it to +2. And actually my custom setting 2 is actually just the +2 version, just in case I want something with a little bit less saturation. But in general, I really do like a saturated image. Next, hue, leave that at 0. I don't mess with that, and you're not gonna mess with it. High/low key adjustment, I put this to +1, kind of just messing around with it, and it looks good at +1, so you're just gonna do that, okay? Don't think about it. Now contrast, I do like a really contrasty, crispy image, so I'm putting that to +3. Sometimes I even push it to +4, depending on the scene, but for pretty much all the pictures you saw, 99% of them are +3. Now contrast in the highlights, I brought this to -4. Now the reason is because I want to keep as much information in the really bright parts of the image. This camera has decent dynamic range, but when you shoot JPEGs, it's not really forgiving, so if you clip something, you lose it. So I set this to -4 so that I have as much information in the highlights. Now the contrast in the shadow for me is a little bit less important because I do like a really contrasty, dark, shadowy image, so this is at -1 just to keep a little bit, but in general, I like when it's really dark. Now sharpness, I set this to +1. The images out of this are already super sharp, and putting it to +1 gives it that little extra pop, that little extra contrast that I do like, and it doesn't look over sharpened, and I think the images look beautiful. So there you go. Now shading, 0. I don't even know what that does. Clarity, I left that at 0 because I feel like the sharpening is already done, and that's pretty much it. That's it. Now once you have these set, you can just hit OK to make sure you save it as custom 1, and I usually expose right in the middle of the exposure meter or a touch to the left, exposing to the left, so a little bit underexposed again, because I do prefer a darker or a contrasty image. Even on the JPEGs, I've lifted up the highlights a little bit when necessary, but I don't really want to mess with the shadows too much, so I underexpose just a tiny bit sometimes to get these amazing results. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I don't want to waste any more of your time. If you want to check out my full review, I will link it here. Have a great day, guys. I've had a great day so far. Played some tennis and ate some good food. Italy is just chef's kiss, and I'll see you guys in the next video, all right?